Step one in solving systems is always define variables. So in our Band Booster Club problem, just like in most word problems, defining variables can be found directly from the question that is asked. The question asks, how many of each type of hot drink do they sell? Hot drinks, I'm dealing with coffee and hot chocolate. So I'm just using the letters C and H to stand for those. That's step one. Step two, setting up a system. That means I'm going to need to come up with two equations. The two things that are given to me in this information has to deal with total drinks and total money. So looking at the information that's given, I've been told that there was a total of 275 cups. That means some number of coffee plus some number of hot chocolate should equal a total of 275. There is my first equation. That has to deal with total drinks. The other thing that I notice is we're given some things that have to deal with money. That's all going to be in the same equation. So there's a clue when you're working with the system. You look for things that are similar with your numbers. On this one, I know my total will be 272 and 25 cents. That's the total that these two things will equal together. They tell us that hot chocolate goes for $1.25. So that means for every hot chocolate sold, I need to multiply that number by $1.25. And coffee goes for 75 cents. So I'm going to need to multiply C, coffee, by 75 cents each time. Here's my second system, part of my system. So this one is total cups. Here is the value of my total money sold. At this point, we've set up our system. We are ready to move on to step 3. Pick a method and solve. Graphing, substitution, elimination. You can use whatever method. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to choose elimination. If I were to add these two equations together, combine them to make one, it's not going to give me anything that cancels out immediately. However, thinking ahead, what can I multiply all of this equation by where something might cancel out here? So I'm thinking if I multiply this whole equation here by a negative 0.75, and I did that on purpose because when I multiply here, I'm going to get a negative 75 times C. I know that will cancel with a positive 75C when I add the two together. So let's see what this equation looks like now that we're multiplying everything by a negative 0.75. Alright, so these numbers are easy because they're both just multiplying by negative 0.75. 275 times a negative 0.75 is a negative 206.25. Now that we've done that, I changed the total drinks equation. Here's the total money equation still. Now, in elimination, when I add these things together, these cancel out, and I'm only dealing with hot chocolate now. So $1.25 minus 75 cents is 50 cents. And 272.25 minus 206.25 leaves me with 66. Now to get H by itself, if I divide both sides by 0.5, 66 divided by 0.5 is 132. That means I should have sold 132 hot chocolates. I sold 132 hot chocolates, and my problem tells me there were 275 total, and the remainder should have been coffee. So 275 minus 132. Remainder would be 143. Checking for reasonableness. First of all, when we say that, I have positive numbers, so that is good. You knew you did something wrong if you got a negative number of hot chocolate, or, for that matter, a fraction number of hot chocolate cups. Should be whole numbers and should be positive. Also, it should be reasonable when you add these two things together, they equal 275. And when you times them by their value, in other words, hot chocolate by $1.25 and 143 by its price of 75 cents, when you add it all up, the total value should be 272.25.